Alright everyone, thought I'd better bring you along for this journey, I guess. Been a bit busy lately. We've got the Land Rover done, all ready to go. Didn't really film any of that, so I thought I should get back to this. It's been a while, so yeah, we got the old Conveyancer forklift here. It's 6,000 pounds, so about 3 ton forklift. Bit of a workhorse around here. Yeah, it gets used quite a bit, so it's got a bit of a, well, it's had it since I got it. It leaks trans fluid out of the bow housing here. There must be a gasket between sort of the bow housing and the block on the bottom side, and leaks trans fluid quite a bit, so yeah, it's pretty expensive to keep having to top it up. So I thought, now's the time, bite the bullet, let's get this thing sorted. So there's a few other things too. The carburetor, it's got issues, it floods, loses its fuel prime, so we'll do probably these plastic lines and make that a little bit more permanent. Just tidy a bunch of things up. A bit of damage from the old tree where she got flattened, so keep going on about the tree, but changed a few things around here, bent stuff, you know. At the end of the day, I got this going after that because she was pretty important to have this running to shift all the stuff around to get the new shed built. Yeah, also got a bird's nest there, a few issues, so that needs just tidying up. Get the electrics tidied up, sorted. It's just a friggin' headache sometimes. So yeah, it's a so automatics. It's got a mechanical high-low range, but other than that, it's an automatic forward reverse clutch with torque converter. Same as most modern forklifts, I guess. Yeah, hinching pedal and all the rest. So yeah, basically we're gonna have to lift the motor out to get this done. So I've just started taking panels off. Got a whole bunch of stuff over there to go outside. Yeah, just pretty basic stuff really. Just disconnect anything that's attached and chuck her off outside and get the motor out, and it'll just be pull it apart and put a new gasket or seal it up or something. There's an oil leak. Oh, I think on one of those pumps in there leaks or something. So there's just a number of little bits and pieces to address as we go through. But yeah, interesting. It's got a 236 or 236 cubic inch Perkins petrol. So there's your carburetor, and there's your spark plugs distributor. Pretty common engine in the diesel form, but yeah, the old petrol version's a bit few and far between, so a little bit unique, a little bit interesting. Yeah, but anyway, we'll probably take a bit more video as we go and make it into some kind of a story for you. Cheers. Here we go, she's ready to lift out. Got that bloody bird's nest of wiring wrapped up. There we go, get that engine mounts out, all the hoses off, radiator's out, controls disconnected, so ready to bring the old loader in here and lift her out. Will be the next job, and then we can start to have a look at fixing some of these leaks and other issues. So, rightio, nice sunny morning today. Beautiful blue sky, but got the loader in here as a lifting frame. It's all disconnected, so I rigged a couple of come-alongs up there, and I'll just manually lift this out with the come-alongs up to a certain point, and then we'll hoist her out with the loader. Be easy to do it that way when you have someone to help you, you know, make sure everything's free. You can just kind of do a bit more freehand. So here we go, lift her out and on to the next step. And he's coming out alright. A little bit of a trick. Cross member there, we got at the drive shaft past it. I'll probably take that drive shaft fully off when I go to put it back in, just make life a bit easier. It's just a bit hard to get it undone underneath. There's tie wire and all sorts of stuff on there, so going alright so far. There she is all the way up, so Let's jump on the loader now and lift out the last of the way. Bit of a hole down in there below. Had a bit of trouble with this engine mount, fouling on some stuff, but that's why you do it with the old come along, because you kind of feel it snag and get a lever and pop it around and do what you need to do. So yeah, not too hard at all. Well, she's out. Here you can see is the problem. All this, it's fairly clean through here, and that joint, that's where the trans fluid leaks out. So to get that joint off, gearbox off, torque converter and that bell housing, reseal that up, and that should fix that oil leak. And giving her a steam clean, so shouldn't get too filthy pulling it apart. It's looking a lot better, well, cleaner anyway. And yeah, interesting, down in here, it's obviously had a bit of trauma in the past. There's been a repair in it. You can see a cast iron stitch or something, maybe a bit of brazing, so it must have a few stories to tell from a previous life. So I'll get her apart and get this leak sorted. Alright everybody, we're flying blind a bit here, but I've taken the starter off. There's no sign of any bolts in the back there. I want to get the torque converter off the flywheel before I take the gearbox off, but I can't see anything obvious. All there is these, that ring of bolts, which actually looks like it might hold the torque converter together, but best bit I've got at the moment, so I'm just running around under all those and then under the gearbox, and we'll see what happens. So I've been right around, all those lock tabs and bolts are out. Found this little, there's two of them opposite, little jacking hole. Chuck the bolt in there. So now that's all torque converters free from the flywheel, so should be ready for the gearbox to come off. And here we go. So yeah, obviously those, I thought that might split the torque converter, those bolts, but no, they just go straight through the flywheel. There's actually a little seal that runs around in there too, so it must kind of hold the torque converter together and everything. Just note to self, that fitting, I pulled the hose off there. I've already drained the gearbox, but there's about 3 litres of oil come out of that unexpectedly. I thought it'd be empty, but that's why we got a mess on the floor. But here we go, next step, flywheel off, and then we can take that bell housing casting off. Well, there we are, flywheel's off. I think, well and truly, we're going to blame this on the last guy. So those 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, are there. I don't even have any bolts in them at all. So that probably explains the oil leak, plus it will be loose. This will be loose against the block through there, so that's why it's leaking on the gasket. So for the sake of 3 bolts, we have to come all the way into here. So well, here we go. I think we definitely had the apprentice on this job. There's the fitting I took out of the gearbox. A little washer on it, sealing washer, BSP fitting. And I thought, oh yeah, might need to get a new washer for that. Turn it over, flat face, there's no taper. I think they might have put that fitting in backwards. Tapered side should go to the hose, where the tapered BSP fitting is in there. Probably source of another oil leak. So, well, find these problems, sort them out, we'll get that. Okay, everyone, update here. We've got the bow housing back on with there's the heads of the 3 extra bolts that were missing. So they're all back in, that's all back on, sealed up, so that shouldn't leak anymore. I've done a little bit here with the finding some leaks on the fuel system. I've got the carburetor off for a clean out. Alternator's off for testing as well. So we'll just get onto that. Here's the alternator here. It's a little bit oddball, this one. It's a externally regulated alternator, so it requires a regulator unit to be in the system as well. It's kind of maybe like a throwback to the old generator systems, but yeah, basically, if I can show it, if you connect power, that's the field terminal just underneath there. So if you put 12 volts onto that, it will actually charge. I've tested it and it does. You run it up with the drill, and you can see you can hear a load come on, but I might just try and show you guys that. And then yeah, connecting it up with the regulator, nothing happens. So I'd say we've got a dud regulator there. So let's see, now we get a new one of them. Should be charging the battery again. So see if we can run this test. Alright, here we go. So battery's connected up. I'll get that running the right way. So we put some voltage onto that field. You'll hear the drill load up. There we go. That's making power. Turn it off. Nothing. Back on, making power. So I might just show the other test with the regulator on, and you just see nothing happen. There's no reaction at all. So here we are. We'll just run this up. There's your positive coming into the regulator, field 1 going onto the field terminal. So we'll give this a run up. As you can see there, that is completely just free spinning. I can snip this out. Put 12 volts onto that field, slows down straight away. And so if I run her up with a drill and we put 12 volts on the field, you'll see the difference. Oh no, 12 volts on. That's making power. But unfortunately that makes about 15 volts, which is far too much for a battery. That's why you need the regulator in line. So there we go. There we go, 4-wheel's back on, torqued up. Had Loctite on those bolts before, so I just chucked some of that back on. And ready for the transmission to go back on. Well, it's on. There's a little bit of an act. Doing it by hand with bloody blocks under it and stuff. But if only had a forklift to lift it on with, that'd be handy. But it's alright. So we'll get this buttoned up and pretty much ready to sling her back into the forklift. Hi everyone, update. We've got the wiring sort of laid out. Needs the dash doing and everything, but basically the wire's there about half the amount there was before, so that's far better than spaghetti junction we had. Got the auxiliary transcooler back in and got the original radiator back in, because that one's decided to identify as a sieve. So that was my supposed good spare, but anyway, pulled a bit of the dent out of the top where the filler is and had to do a bit of resoldering there, so that should be in there, no leaks. And yeah, so we got a few more hydraulic hoses to fit in, mainly the steering sort of things, and get that trans filter in, bit of wiring, and we'll probably do a start and start working through all the other bits and pieces. So we're all wired up, starting off the key, got our new voltage regulator hiding under there where it lives. Got a couple of gauges missing. I got those on order, they come in, so I got a voltmeter and a temperature or engine temperature gauge. That temp's just the trans temp. So all pressure lights working there. Yeah, alternator's charging. Give her a start. So yeah, we just got a leak off the filter housing there, so I'm needing to make a little gasket up for in there. Might show you that, my way of doing it. And I've also got that hose there on the trans cooler is leaking. So I think that's what you can pull apart, so we might pull that apart and just re-terminate that. And other than that, looking pretty good. Seems to hold fuel now. It doesn't lose all the fuel out of the carb every time you stop it, which is what it used to do. So you leave it for a couple of days, it'll fire right up, you have to prop it back up. I've also reconnected the governor on here. So there's got the arm there, works back to the governor by the distributor. So just converted it to just a spring off the accelerator. It's not quite right. I probably need a heavier spring because I can only get about, I think, 14 or 1500 revs on the governor on full pull on that weight spring. So I'll go see the spring man. I might get a heavier spring, and I think these should run at about 2000 more or less. So that should be good. Give us a bit more power when we're trying to drive up a hill or something. Previously it had the stop here wound in, so it would only ever give it partial throttle, so you didn't over rev it, which is a bit restricted. So might be running a bit better after this. Radiator's not leaking, that's all full, that's keeping its water, so yeah, all good. Okay, making a gasket. So it's pretty easy to do, to make one from scratch. I mean, there's so many ways you can go about it, no ways any right or wronger than the other, but proof is in the pudding. If the gasket seals, you did it right. So I mean, you can put it on, flip that over, other side, mark it all out with pen, come over, wad punches, cut it out, scissors, etc, etc. Another one is you can put it on and then go around with a little hammer just around, so you hold it still just on the perimeter. Go tap 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 all the way around the edge, find all the holes, tap tap tap, same thing, and that'll just easily cut through the paper. You can use a steel ball to find your holes, so maybe tap around the outside. When you come to do a hole, you lay the gasket on here, steel ball over the hole, tap the ball down, and that'll actually cut and self-center, cut your hole out for you. Yeah, or scissors, whatever works really. Main tips I'd say would be, like in here, do these holes, get these holes cut out before you do the outer, because what will happen is you'll find a nice little short there. When you go to punch this hole out with a wad punch or anything, it'll rip the gasket in here through to the outside. So if you do like this hole first and then run around the outside after, that will stop that happening. And with your wad punches, what you really want, it's a block of some type of hardwood. So yeah, you want that to run your wad punches onto. I mean, some people have used lead and stuff like that too. I mean, works just as well. It's what you can lay your hands on. Soft wood is not so good because the wood will actually deform, and then you'll be more likely to get tears and stuff in your gasket, whereas this is a, you know, hard enough surface, it doesn't deform, it just gets cut where the wad punch comes through. So yeah, that's about all I can tell you about making gaskets. We're all back together. Got that new gasket in there, and got that oil leak on that one. I re-terminated that hose in there, so that's all done. Yeah, all good to go. Top back up with coolant. What else we done? I think that's about it. So I'm just going to go around, and there's a whole bunch of grease nipples and the controls and stuff here, so we'll let me squirt while it's all nice and easy to get to. And yeah, probably go over the rest too and give the rest of it a grease up, and we'll put all the panels back on, and she'll be job done. And all done. So all the panels are back on. Just waiting for those gauges on the dash, and everything else is looking good. So ready for the next job, and next, well, yeah, lifting anything really. Comes in handy all the time, this thing, so gets a fair bit of use around here. So nice and handy, easy tool, and she's all back working properly as it should be now, so that's good. Oh, see you on the next one anyway.